Welcome everyone to another edition of Hardcore Wrestling Rants. I am your hardcore host, Rick Head, and I'm joined by the hardcore crew. And I want to welcome back a very original, a very own, the son of a bitch, Andy. How are you doing, Andy?
I'm doing fine. I hope everyone's listening and ready for what's about to happen.
Yeah, guys, we have a son of a bitch in the room. I'm gonna just tell you, no, his filter's off, and it's anybody's
Before
game.
before you even do that, Lance, you might as well get Andy's email out there.
Andy at StokeHaunted.com, I guess.
Yeah, but
Yeah, that was it.
we'll still blame Joe for everything. So
Yeah, which you can, if you want to do that, it's Joe at SkoldingZone.com.
Yeah, there you go. We have to do that.
And of course, over from Skeldon Realms, he's the Lord Skeld himself, Joseph Knight. Joe, what's going on?
Not much. Let's get this thing going. It's great to have Andy on board.
Absolutely. And now finally, we have over at Lance Moss TV, the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, what's shaking?
Not too much, got coffee, so let's have some fun.
All right. Well, we have a recent update on the Wyndham brothers, or Rotunda brothers. Wyndham Rotunda, who is also known as Bray Wyatt, and William Rotunda, who's also known as Bo Dallas. Apparently, they are still around. Mr. IRS had an interview, and he said that they are doing other projects right now, but they are far done from wrestling. He didn't really want to speak too much for them. He just wanted to say, hey, they're just working hard, and you never know where they're gonna pop up. Um, Now, Andy, we were talking about this shortly before. We've seen wrestlers just leave the business for one reason or another and never show back up.
I think they messy Bray Wyatt around something terrible. I mean, when he first came into WWE, I didn't like him at all, but his character grew on me, and now I just think it's a complete mess. I mean, they're messing with him, they're messing with Alexa Bliss. It's just I don't know what they're doing. I really do not know what they're playing at.
Well, unfortunately, this is the WWE, so wrestlers will come and go again. Um, I'm hoping that at least Wyndham Rotunda or Bray Wyatt will pop up because his character, the Fiend, was probably it grew on me the most. I loved that character. Um, and I'm sure with his creative minds, Joe, he could very much do something similar if he showed up with it, in the other promotion.
Absolutely. He's still got a lot of go in him. He could do very much a lot more in the business. So, how can he be used properly? That's, again, we'll have to wait and see. Um, but there's so much with that guy that can be done with him. And his brother's very talented. It's just WWE and all their wisdom never gave them the opportunity to go the route, apparently. So we'll see what happens with this.
Absolutely. Lance, your thoughts?
Well, I mean, yeah, like you said, we have seen other people from just straight up leave the business. It's a little different when they're from a wrestling family. Because I think they're like the Rhodes family is got a bunch of different branches, and I think they are one of them because I think Dusty was married to Barry Windham's sister, and there's a connection to there with the Rotundas. So, like I said, it's kind of different when it comes to a wrestling family, but these two guys are very young, still in the grand scheme of things, young, but we ain't seen the last of either damn one of them.
I sure as hell hope not. Um, Jonathan Greshman was injured earlier last week. They believe it was during his match, and that was against when he was he I guess the double. Yeah, I forget who he was fought against. It was on Rampage. He's both the Ring of Honor and Progression champion. Um, and he pretty much just said this: "Hello, everyone. Unfortunately, I will not be able to make it to London this weekend for the Sunday and Monday events due to an injury. I have not been cleared to compete, so I want to apologize and progress the fans for not being able to take it off this weekend. I really wanted my health has to come first with just a little bit of time off." Now I know a lot of people probably in this group is not familiar with Jonathan Greshman, but since Tony Khan's purchased Ring of Honor, I've been looking back and just following this guy wrestler, and I'm gonna tell you, even though I know very little about him, I'm quickly impressed. I don't know about Andy. I'm not sure if you've heard of this gentleman.
No, not at all.
Okay, Joe, your thoughts?
I'm in the same fucking boat as Andy. I don't know who this ham and egger is. I'm sure he's a talented kid. But you know what? And the thing is, Ring of Honor wasn't as big as the other promotions, so we're kind of in that state that like Homer Simpson.
All right, Lance, come on, pull me out of the boat here, will ya?
Actually, boss, I do got you on this one.
All right.
Because he actually defended his ROH title like 2 weeks or so before Tony announced that he had bought it on a Saturday morning show from Memphis here that's shown on TV. So I've actually seen this guy wrestle outside of AEW or ROH, AEW, whatever we're calling it. And he definitely impressed me.
Yeah, like I said, I've only seen a couple of the matches, and I've quickly been impressed. He was only on Rampage, but hopefully when he comes back, we'll be seeing a lot more of the double champion. Apparently, Tony Khan has yet to make another big announcement tonight on Dynamite. Some have speculated already that AEW in New Japan will have some kind of a supercard show. But again, with him, it could just be he signed a wrestler that nobody's known. Joe, let me pick your brain. Who would you think this big announcement would be?
I believe it's a TV deal for Ring of Honor. It's going to be not as big as it was with Sinclair Sports or Sinclair Channel, which was Cablevision in some areas. But it is going to be something to that to keep Ring of Honor going as another minor promotion. It's basically Ring of Honor is going to become their NXT, which is not a bad idea because we're kind of tied up in so many other like talent that's really squashed in either Dark Elevation or Rampage or Dynamite. It's good to spread these people around to these other companies to really hash out so they're not stuck on a YouTube channel.
Now, Andy, we've heard like every week Tony Khan, or every other week Tony Khan makes this big announcement. I mean, how many times do we have to wait for him to make this big announcement?
I just don't think anybody cares about it because his big announcements are never big. I mean, whoop-de-doo, he's bought a company that was going down the shitter. Ring of Honor. All Ring of Honor have ever really done has just been an internet thing. And I'm sorry, there's loads of indie companies out there that do internet shows. What makes Ring of Honor any better? The bits I've seen, Ring of Honor online, look like ECW in its early days. Crap production, crap lighting, held together by decent wrestlers.
Well, you know what, Lance? I'm going to ask you this, but I'm going to throw it back around the questions. You have to wonder, Tony Khan's really getting to like being on TV. You have to wonder sooner or later if he's going to be one of those TV GMs that, we saw like The Authority over in WWE. You think Tony Khan would try to do something like that?
I've heard he says he doesn't want to, but actions speak louder than words, and hot damn, his actions are speaking louder than hell right now.
Yeah, you know what, Joe? Again, I have to say that we've heard him say, "Oh, I'll never be on TV. TV's not my thing." But I think he's starting to kind of get the feel for it, and he's kind of getting the taste. What are your thoughts?
I think somebody injected him with a vaccine of Dixie Carter and Vince Russo and Eric Bischoff.
Oh God, I don't know.
Think of it. I was not going to be on TV. I was going to be behind the scenes like other people. Now he's Dixie Carter on front of everybody. Howdy, y'all. She's going to be out. He's out there making these huge announcements like Eric Bischoff did back in WCW, the early days. And we're going to do this. And I guarantee tonight it's just going to be something. Well, tonight, you can now tune into Ring of Honor at this channel. Also, I also guarantee too that CM Punk is going to fucking open the show for the 1 billionth time.
Probably.
Andy, your thoughts on Tony Khan and possibly becoming a GM?
Tony Khan, Joe's just hit it on the head. Tony Khan's turning into Dixie Carter. There ain't two ways about it. It's going to be the Tony Khan show.
And you know what? Unfortunately, that could very well go downhill. That was apparently one of the reasons why Cody Rhodes left. Apparently, the word was that he had an argument with Tony Khan over creative or something. There's no real details, and then 2 weeks later, he's gone. I don't know about that one, Andy.
Unfortunately, I'll give AEW another 12 months and they'll be on the Cartoon Network.
Well, I hope not, because honestly...
They're getting the same way TNA went. Exactly the same.
I personally, I hope not. I love AEW. I love the wrestlers, and so far, Tony Khan's been making all the right moves. No pun intended to the movie. But I guess he's one of those things we're just going to have to wait and see. We're going to move along. Alexa Bliss has apparently not been happy with WWE Creative. There's been very little details. We know that she's been off TV for some time. I think since maybe early or late summer, where she's still been doing this kind of like Twisted Bliss gimmick that was based around the Fiend, who's now gone. So you're going to have to wonder, she probably wants out of this character. I don't know about you, Joe. What your thoughts are?
Well, you know what? The character was fine, but you know what they did? They overdid it. They did it with the supernatural stuff. They wrote it like it's a fucking part of Supernatural or Poltergeist. They didn't think that this is wrestling. They didn't think that something was going to be, like there's got to be some believability in this.
Well, come on. Would you believe The Undertaker got buried alive and still lives?
Absolutely. You've seen how he pops out of the fucking ground. Galloway keeps coming back, so you can actually really bury him, and they'll find a way to bring him back. I can imagine seeing Andre the Giant tugging with strings on him. I'm back, guys. Oh my God, his skin is peeling off. Quick, tape it up.
He's lost like 150 pounds.
Yeah, he's like, don't. It's this new gimmick. He's the new La Parca.
La Parca El Grande.
Yeah. But you know what it is? They made her gimmick too outrageous. And the bottom line is, it's just now when you have these so-called creative writers who are so used to writing fucking garbage television, like TV today is garbage, Look at Star Trek Picard, and that'll tell you,
Hey, shots fired. I actually like that show.
No. It's not like the Next Generation. Anyway, so her character is now done. What else can you do? And it doesn't help that Charlotte Flair beat her like really easy. So all that supernatural shit is gone. So what do you do with her? She's Now she's got a legit reason to complain. She's got a gimmick that she's locked onto. Can't go back to Little Miss Bliss. You can't go back to the Harley Quinn. What do you do with her?
Well, with somebody like her, I mean, at least in my opinion, she was doing those sessions, and now she's gone for a few weeks. She can come back. And, Andy, there's no reason why she can't just come back as, Alexa Bliss with the snot-nosed kind of character.
I don't think she wants to come back, to be fair. I think she's been messed around that much. They made that big deal about the elimination chamber where they had the swing inside the pod that she was sitting in, and then made a job out. And I've got to get this off my chest. I don't know why everyone's pushing Bianca Belair, because I just think she wants that earpiece ripping out, because she's absolute garbage.
Well,
I would, Andy, I would give you my comments, but I think Rick will get thrown off the air.
She's obviously sucking Vince
Wait a
better than
minute.
anybody else can suck him.
You know what? Let's also we have Terry in the Twitch channel. He says, "Hey guys, it's early." He says, "Welcome back, Andy." That's Terry. He says, "Welcome back" over on Twitch. Again, guys, you can check us out we are on Twitch TV at Hardcore Wrestling Rants. Just go to that channel and you could see us there.
But, Bianca Belair, I have to admit to a point, she had some skill, but that fucking ponytail, Andy, I just want to fucking just spin around her and just fucking hang her with it.
I just wish somebody grab hold of it and swing around and hope the knot comes untied and she smacks herself against the ring post and no more. She is one person.
Do you think we should call Brutus the Barber Beefcake again?
She makes Callie look like she's got wrestling talent.
Oh, Jesus.
Damn.
All right. Lance.
Well, you know why she won the title in the first place. Oh, no, wait. It wasn't Black History Month. Sorry.
Oh, Jesus.
But, hey, that's at last time's WrestleMania. What did it fall on? And I'm not taking away from the girl, but coincidinky dinky.
Hey, I've got a news flash with controversy for you, Rick.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
It's true. It's not made up. I saw it online yesterday. Virgil's got senile dementia. Does that mean he won't know whether he's sitting outside a convention or not?
You know what? Honestly, I think he's been senile even back when he was working with, the Million Daily Nerd, Ted DiBiase. I mean, come on, this guy walked around. I don't know if you heard about this piece of news, Andy. This goes back, I think, maybe late last year, where he was doing a cameo, one of those cameo spots, where he had his junk hanging out.
I know he went on, I think it was Joe Rogan's podcast and wanted to measure his penis against Joe Rogan's.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't think that was Rogan, though.
Let's just say it. He's as confused as Joe Biden is at a press conference.
All right, Lance.
I realised when he walked in the studio and they said, "That prick's here," he thought he meant get it out.
When they told him, "Let's hang it out," he thought it was something different.
Well,
Lance, get in here before it gets outrageous.
Lance, yes, over to you. Your thoughts about Alexa Bliss not being happy with WWE Creative.
Well, I mean, like Andy said, she's the bullshit at a chamber, and then, well, where the hell she been? Well, I know where she's been getting divorced or married, but she even said, "I am willing to work WrestleMania." One of your biggest names in the company, and you don't have them on your biggest fucking show of the year. What in the bluest of hells are they doing?
You know, this is WWE logic. I'm surprised this company's yet to go under. God forbid what happens when Vince McMahon passes away.
Things might get better.
Can you remember? It must be about 5-6 years ago. Vince, I don't know if it was on a pay-per-view or just on Raw, but where Vince was fighting God.
That's about a decade.
I think God is winning right now.
Yeah.
Right. Also in the chat room, Andy, Terry says Virgil turns and extends out his penis for shaking. That's his form of a handshake. Sorry, my hands are busy.
That's the handshake that Tammy Sitch likes.
Yeah. Well, she'll take any handshake if the price is right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, speaking about Tammy Sitch, not to go off, they said she could be brought up on charges, her and her partner, on the situation with that car accident. So that's something also to keep an eye on, Rick.
Well, from what I read, even on the actual news article, she was not at fault.
Do you know the old guy that died, 75-year-old?
Okay.
I don't know his name. I can't remember. They haven't mentioned his name, but I can't remember his name. The one who she slammed at the back end of his car and killed him. Well, apparently, just before he died, he said, "I used to have a crush on Tammy Wynette." Tammy Wynette.
Tammy Wynette.
Well, you
I used
got
to have
a
a
crush
crush on
right
Tammy.
now.
I've had a crush.
You got
Jesus.
a crush right now.
Yeah.
Moving
We'll
along.
just slide him under the door.
What was the last thing that went through his mind when he had the accident?
His ass.
His windscreen.
Oh, here we go.
All right, guys.
Get punchy now.
Now, I don't know, Andy, if you've recently seen Nikki Bella.
Yes. I saw the picture you posted. Nikki Blobber.
Yeah, I saw the picture. And I had to take a double take. I'm like, this is. I had a crush on this chick. I thought she was one of the hottest chicks. She couldn't wrestle to save her life, but I was like, damn. You have to wonder if her husband or fiance is starting to say, you know what, maybe we don't need to get married. Yeah, I'll pay child support.
You think her husband is sucking the youth and beauty out of her like Arnold Schwarzenegger did to his wife Maria Schaefer?
Well, he needs to suck something out of her because she clearly needs to lose a few pounds.
Well, she looks like she had like varicose veins. She looks all dried up. The miracle of makeup and television, guys.
Yeah.
You know, she did wear those long tights, so you didn't know what was hanging out underneath there. There we go, back to Virgil again with things hanging out.
Well, I don't know, Andy.
I thought it was Rikishi with the bra on, to be honest, when you posted that picture.
Well, I was gonna say now we wonder why. We know why, and John Cena didn't want to marry her.
He got a good look at her with the lights on. My God, looking at that picture, golly. I mean, you look at that.
Kali.
Great Kali. I thought for a moment it was Matilda the dog standing up. No wonder the Bulldogs lost the tag titles.
Lance, you better jump in here.
Well, this is what happens when you fully detox from the Cena juice.
Didn't she win the Mae Young Classic before she retired?
Not sure of that, but she was winning. Her and Brie Bella, they had like the longest winning women's tag team streak going on, and then
for a minute, I thought you said.
I didn't realize one of the stipulations of winning the Mae Young Classic was to end up looking like her.
That's what I was gonna say.
Well, she definitely won that contest.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll give birth to a foot this time instead of a hand.
Well, at least their son made an appearance at WrestleMania.
Well, Terry over in the chat room, this is what he said. He goes, maybe we should just call her the Great Kelly. Anyways, apparently, from what I read from the article, her and her fiance, I forget his name, the Dancing with the Stars guy.
Poor bastard.
Yeah.
Stevie Wood.
Well, they've been having issues with marital issues because they both, are very strong-headed.
Looking at that picture, you could see where she's hiding Captain Winky.
Yeah, well, apparently it must be his Captain Winky because they were all. Now this is a public pool setting, and that's where they saw where the other pictures of her fiance and I think I'll say the 2-year-old son, and I'm okay, that must be really broke if they're going to a public pool. When you get a shit ton of money, you're in your own pool setting.
What you
Yeah,
don't
she was
see on
trying to
that
sell
photograph that you
autographs.
posted is the pool attendant saying, "If you dive in, you've got to pay for having it filled."
um, all joking aside, I really want to, you have to wonder before her fiance and whatever split apart again because like as he said, I want certain things in a certain way, but she wants things in a certain way, and it's just not, we're really having issues with it, and they've
Yeah, like
already
he
got a
wants a
couples
real
therapy.
woman. He wants a real woman.
Well, I have to say, Nikki Bella right now she's a real woman to speak of, but let's move on. Liv Morgan has been warning scammers, uh, which of course we all know. We've gotten those emails saying that you need a refund from like Best Buy. I got tons of them, but you don't click on the link. You just delete it because I know that I didn't buy a 72-inch TV from Best Buy. So, um, but this is pretty much what she had to say. And apparently, yeah, the fan emailed her claiming he lost every penny that he had to help her. And she responded by, "Guys, I've seen so many email horror stories about people making fake accounts and emails, pretending to be me, and asking for huge amounts of money. This makes me so sad. Please don't use my name to con people out of hard-earned money. Please, please, please. A man sold his home, lost everything helping me. This makes me so sick. Please, I know I would never reach out to anyone to ask for a single penny." So, you know what, Joe? I don't think the Connors are going to stop.
Yeah, here we go. Let's crack the knuckles. Lance, get that email ready.
Joe@collisionfilm.com.
Thank you. Might as well throw Andy's in there too. But wait till I'm finished. First of all, you got to be a fucking complete moron to believe Liv Morgan wants you to sell your house, to give her money, or for you to give her your house or whatever. It shows you today's generation, the mentality of today's people are strictly retarded. Because anybody who believes WWE superstar Liv Morgan wants you to give her money because she's poor. Didn't I just see her in WWE TV like last week? Never mind that.
Last night.
Yeah.
Oh, night before last.
But, what sort of that must have been that dude that said it's real to me, damn it, because you have to be a fucking retarded person to believe this, or Liv Morgan finally got caught in the scheme she was doing with Sonya Deville. So, or was it Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville? Who cares? But the point is, you're really a complete idiot if you actually believe Liv Morgan is the one that's once you just poor and needs money. Over in the chat room, Terry says, "I'm Liv Morgan. Could you let's see here. I gotta read this. Could you help me with a $50 iTunes card? The camera on my cell phone won't work without iTunes card."
I'm sorry, but if I was a scammer and I thought I could actually get anything out of Liv Morgan, it would be a blowjob.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Andy. I mean, you got these scammers and shit, and they're asking for money when clearly somebody who's not broke is not going to ask for money. I mean, does any of this make sense?
No. But then again, like Joe was saying, it's the generation we live in, and people just believe everything they read. They just haven't got the brains to do a bit of research.
Yeah, exactly. And it just, I get all those junk emails all the time, and I don't know why Liv Morgan would ask people to stop doing it, because they're not going to stop doing it. If there's a scammer out there that think they can get one penny, they're going to get it. Lance, over to you.
Well, a couple of things. One, it proves there's still marks out there that will fall for shit like this. And two, fuck that guy. But also, little bit of a public service announcement. If somebody emails you saying they are your long lost cousin and the prince of some African nation, I think it's like Kenya or something, it's bullshit.
Oh,
No,
God, I've sent him a check as well.
what was it? It's one of those Nigerian.
Yeah, Nigerian princes.
There we go.
Yeah, and the Nigerian prince was it? What's the problem? Was he need money to feed his camel or something, or what?
First of all, if anybody from Africa is contacting you and telling you that they need money, it's mostly because they need more spears and masks. Go.
That's Joe at Scolding.com.
No, what? They do have tribes like that still. I'm not lying. Andy, back me up on this.
Yeah, they do. They got them that have got the plate built in the mouth as well, so they can have a meal anywhere they go.
Fuck it. That's Andy at Stoke.
We're gonna move along. Apparently, on his latest podcast, Booker T said that anyone who would have to work for AEW Dark is considered a demotion. This is what he had to say. Hell yeah, it's a demotion. I know I know they're going to get picked up, but hell yeah, it's a demotion. Damn it, I'm not working on Dark. For me, working Dark is a show that's only on the internet for the young guys coming up. I didn't come from the big show, no pun intended, which I'm talking about the WWE. I didn't come from WWE to AEW to work Dark. I don't even know what Dark is. Apparently he does know what Dark is, but that's beside the point. And he says, I don't know who does it. So far, to me, Dark would make me feel like a certain way personally. Now, Joe Booker, he also stated that he would never work on Heat or Velocity when he was with the WWE. Joe, this is a guy. You have a lot of wrestlers who can be on a company that says Dark, where they want to see your, what you're made of. So, do you agree with Booker T with this, or do you think that he's just arrogant?
No, I think he's dead wrong on this. Any sort of publicity, even on the internet, because let's put it like this: when you're on the road, when you're someplace else, if you can't get your streaming app to go for like anything, you tune in YouTube. Most of the time, people tune in on YouTube. And in this case, if you tune on YouTube, there's, and you could see Dark if you don't have access to TBS or something, then that's a perfect opportunity to showcase yourself. You got people like Abaddon, who's a great talent, who should be on Rampage or Dynamite, but she is happy over at Dark because she hones her skills. She gets it. That's a place to hone your skills, it's not, the crowds are the same. It's not like the crowds are lower or like the little studio. There's Brie Bella now barking. So pretty much, I think he just has to say something just to say something. Remember when they had Cyber Sunday and they had all these other streaming shows? What they do is a streaming show. So what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
Quack. He needs to uncurl that Wilma Flintstone hairstyle of his and recheck his brain. And I love Booker. I think Booker's a fucking excellent talent, but I think he's way off this time.
Yeah, Andy, I have to agree with Joe. Any kind of a show that you could be on, you're still on the internet, you're still getting paid, you're still, a contractor where you're, making something as opposed to just sitting on the bench in a WWE where you're just twiddling your thumbs.
Yeah, fully agreed. I mean, as long as you're on some kind of network, as you've just said, any news is good news, as they say, and it's putting your name out there.
All right, Lance, final thoughts.
Well, one, I think he has to say stuff like that because, well, he's under a Legends deal with WWE.
And, yeah.
And also, Is it a demotion? Is it a demotion if he wrestles on a little indie show that he owns?
Oh
Look,
no, that's his
you know
company.
you
So.
run a wrestling company out of Houston, so come on, be honest, Booker.
Oh no, that's probably better because it's his
Yeah.
company, so And you know what? I think I have to agree exactly with what you said. He still works for the WWE. Well, he's associated with the WWE. He's not said one good word about AEW since their opening.
Yeah.
Well, Rick, let's be honest. He's on the competition. Why would he?
Exactly. So he might give them credit, but he'll say but, and then he'll critique them else otherwise. Um, we've also known that a lot of wrestlers have left, but we have Kushida is one of the latest ones who's left the company. Um, as of right now, it's still not sure on the terms as to why he left. Whether he left, his contract was run out and he wasn't offered another one, or he just didn't want to be in the company anymore. And Lance, nowadays the WWE, that's not really a place you want to work with.
That's true. And to be honest, I didn't know who in the hell this sumbitch was.
He's over at NXT.
Which I usually have on while I'm doing my shows on Tuesday night, so I kind of got to have the TV on mute.
Yeah, but he had lost like 4 matches straight, so he was basically just jobbing out. Andy, I'm sure you're not sure on who this Kushida is, but obviously this is another talent that's walked out the door.
Yeah, I didn't know much about him, and I was having a look this afternoon on the internet, and he's won titles everywhere he's been. He's held like 5 titles in New Japan, so he is a pretty half decent wrestler. I mean, although I've not seen him wrestle personally myself, so why have they let him go? The only thing I can think of, I think this next big Tony Khan thing is he's going to announce that he's teamed up with New Japan. And maybe he's going to go back there.
Yeah, well, like I said, a lot of wrestlers think that when they leave, they're going to instantly go to AEW. But I think a lot of wrestling fans don't realize that most of the other talent that didn't come from the WWE worked either in Ring of Honor or New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I think, honestly, Kushida could very well. If he went back to New Japan Pro Wrestling, it wouldn't shock me in the least. But, again, that's my thoughts. I don't know this guy from a hole in the wall, so, for all we know, he might go to Impact.
For his sake, I hope not.
Well, he might have a mental breakdown, Joe.
Oh, absolutely. Smart thing for him to do is go back to New Japan, hone his craft more, because I had seen him. I was curious of who he was. And you know what? Very good, decent talent. The kid knows how to work. But, the WWE is the land where you can easily get lost, or you can lose favor with someone, or it's like the petty locker room. Oh, he's better than me. Get rid of him. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. They will do that. That's how it is. Look at freaking Sasha Banks. Look at Charlotte Flair. Look at Seth Rollins. Look at all those other guys. If they don't like someone, it's the politics. They'll kick someone out just to literally take their spot. And he must have done something to somebody in NXT, or he finally realized this is all I'm going to do is NXT, and that's unacceptable. And he knows there's nothing better for him in the main. So go to a place where you appreciate it.
Exactly, and that's something that I would do. You want to go a place where you're happy. A place where you know that you've not only been to the top, but can very well likely get to the top again. WWE makes all these promises to people, and they just kind of say, well, just we really kind of meant it, but we didn't. We just wanted to make you feel good. Speaking of which, Andy, now that Cody Rhodes is back in the WWE and he seems to be in favor, how long you think before he claims he's going to be the number one guy eventually?
Oh, there's no two ways about it. And now there's unsure about what's going to happen with Roman Reigns. So he'll probably take over that push that they've been giving Roman Reigns. I can see it coming.
Well, Roman Reigns right now, he has won the title. He's kept the title for over 2 years. So I think right now he's the number one guy. He is the John Cena that very few people are going to beat or, get cheated on. Get the cheat win. And now that he's a heel, it's going to be very hard for, someone to beat him straight up. And I can't really even think of a lot of other people. I don't think Cody Rhodes is going to walk into WWE and defeat Roman Reigns, on, just on a whim. Joe, what would you think about that one?
I was going to chime in on it. Of course he's going to walk in and win it. That's going to... Are you kidding me? Look at Charlotte Flair. Look at Sasha Banks. All of these people who go in and they do the same thing. Oh, that's my spot. If I'm coming back, you got to give me a title. Look what happened. Sasha Banks came back. They couldn't pencil in the big belts. So they said, well, how about we just give you out of the blue Naomi and you'll win the tag title. Yay, okay, that's fine. I've held that before. So boom, it will happen. It does happen. And if it's a person that you really want back, hell, fuck, of course they'll pencil that in. It's guess who won the pony, right, Lance?
Wouldn't you know who won the pony?
Thank you. I knew some way it was going to come out. But of course they'll write that in. Cody Rhodes could probably say, listen, I'm coming back. You got to give me this amount of money, this amount of work, and I want a WW, whatever belt the name is, World Global Federation, whatever the fuck the title is now.
No, that's not. That's owned by Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, okay. But one of those world titles, he's gonna win it there, so he can do something his dad, who's the great legendary Dusty Rhodes, never did, and that's win the WWF world title. He's won the NWA titles, he's won the AWA tag titles, so I think that will be a feather in his cap if he can actually walk away and say, hey, Dad, look, even though his dad is passed on, or stuck in the toilet somewhere being the son of a plumber, it could be showing that, hey, I accomplished this. I finally did it. I won the title. Of course, is he going to be a long Jeopardy champion? No. But he'll win it. I guarantee that.
Well, I honestly thought that he would have won one of the titles before they now have this, what's called the unified title. I know Roman Reigns is still carrying both belts, probably because WWE is like, okay, what kind of belt can we make that's going to look exactly like the other belts, Have a purple line instead of a red and blue line. But I don't know. I mean, like I said, if he could beat Roman Reigns and for the title, honestly, I could say I'd be shocked, but I didn't think Cody Rhodes was going to go to WWE to begin with. Go ahead.
I'm going to say this, and then you can have it. It'll be short and sweet. Look, Drew McIntyre. Look at everybody who's left the company and come back 10 times better.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Well, and that, when we saw Cody Rhodes over in New Japan Pro Wrestling, I saw a couple of his matches, and you could see the persona. When he was in AEW, the persona was even higher, and even, he was a superstar. He did his own TV show. He did the reality contest Go Home or Go Big Show. So that was yet another feather in his cap. So obviously WWE saw, stardom finally. But Andy, I find it funny that, a wrestler has to leave a company for WWE to see the bigger picture.
Yeah, they realise that they've dropped the ball with the talent and they've got second pickings at them, so they go back for them. I just hope he doesn't bring Brandy with him.
Actually, by the way, we are speaking, she is training to wrestle. So, yeah, Lance, you said it right. I think she very well could be coming back as a wrestler. And honestly, don't get me wrong, Brandy Rhodes, hot, very sexy woman, but she could not wrestle her way out of a wet paper bag.
Yeah, think about it.
Okay, I was waiting for Lance to say something, but apparently.
Anyway, yeah, Brandy, no. I had a half decent a shot of Brandy cooking show on AEW's YouTube channel, but other than that,
Well, I just read a recent article that apparently John Cena is still has a part-time wrestler contract with the company. And although he's not been seen for some time, and he obviously has done a lot of other projects, a lot of other shitty movies, but that's beside the point. Apparently, he's always on call when the WWE needs him. Surprisingly, apparently they haven't needed him for quite some time. But then again, they haven't really needed The Rock. And Joey, we talked before about bringing back all these other wrestlers, but Andy, I want to ask you. I know you're a big John Cena fan. Do you think John Cena needs to come back? Do you think it's going to make any difference in the company?
No, John Cena's just going to come back like when they have Austin and the big stars from years gone by. He'll just come back when they need some big star to get him out the shit, to be honest. That's all I can think. If they need a big star to pop, like at probably Royal Rumble or something like that, then he'll show his face, but he'll be gone again. At least he's loyal to his roots, unlike The Rock. Once in a lifetime, Rocky Johnson.
Yeah. Joe, your thoughts on John Cena kind of being like on call?
All right, well, before I say that, over in the chat room, Brandy in AEW was decent in some of her matches, not like Kelly bad. This is Harry. He says Medusa has said on her Twitch channel here she would gladly come back out of retirement to kick some ass if someone actually reaches out to her. Well, let me tell you something, Medusa. That's never going to happen because they're, with what you just said, Rick, regarding like, John Cena, he knows when Hollywood dries up a little bit, one little payday, one show up, it's enough for him to last a good, who knows, a year. For us, that payment payday will last us fucking 3 or 4 years or more. But he knows for a fact, he needs that because eventually he will come back. Look at Hulk Hogan when he did No Holds Barred, Mr. Nanny, and all these other horrible movies. He came back and worked. So, but he's smart. He's not going to dilute his product by coming back all the time. Give a good story, give a good payday, give a good little couple of matches where he can come in. That's how it will work. For The Rock to come back, the same thing. He'll make they'll do a story with him and Roman, blah, blah, blah. He'll come back, do a couple appearances, do his little pie jokes. Then he'll do a WrestleMania, which is the biggest payday, lose, and then turn around, handshake his cousin, nephew, uncle, brother, whatever the fuck he is, and then move on to something else. So that's how WWE handles their talent. At least the legendary talent that can still go. Stone Cold, they brought him back because they needed the pop. WrestleMania was lackluster. It was nothing big and great, the extravaganza. Yeah. So they needed Stone Cold to come back.
That's almost a compliment when you said lackluster. I'm like, I was gonna say it outright sucked. But
when did John Cena start having hairdressing classes off JBL? John Cena, when you see him, just looks like mini JBL.
It's been about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, because his hair grew up because he's got that little bald spot in the back of his head. So, You know, I guess apparently he has to, grow it a little bit more, and he doesn't want people
See,
to know
that's
that
what
he's getting old.
that's what happens when you mess around with Nikki Bella and she starts pulling your hair.
Yeah, no shit. But you know what? I can't really think of a good John Cena movie that he's been in. I know some people may like the Transformer Bumblebee movie, but whatever. But I can't say that I can see a movie that where he's done was epic. The Rock, I can name 4 or 5 different movies that I thought was great.
Trying to think here.
I can think of one that I enjoyed, but it didn't get like critical acclaim or nothing. It's a WWE film. It was called Legendary,
Okay, I didn't know about that one, but again, that's a WWE product.
but it's still a good movie. But
Like I like 12 Rounds, which is WWE, but I can't really. No other John Cena movie stands out.
You
They
know
had.
what the problem is? John Cena. Look at the movies that John Cena's been given. I think he's a good talent. He's that him, The Rock, are trying to be the next Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, they just haven't got that one movie like Schwarzenegger used to get. Predator, Terminator, The Running Man. I mean, I could go on and on with the movies that Arnold Schwarzenegger has done, the good ones now. And he, they need that type of movie to cement these guys and then fit in. You know, Also John Cena's doing what? That superhero character now. I forgot the name of him. So he's
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. Thank you, Lance.
Oh, okay.
And apparently he's getting good praise for that character. Sasha Banks when they did The Mandalorian. So it's you gotta find your right fit. I think John Cena could be in that superhero role if they found the right character for him. The Rock, The Rock is a phenomenal. He is a good actor. He's got it. He's got the look. But again, one thing I'm going to let you guys answer this because I really want to hear your take on it. When you're a guy, an actor, and you're the size in height and build like The Rock and John Cena, is that a detriment to you in Hollywood because everybody else is kind of small?
I wouldn't say that they're large. I mean, large, like Arnold Schwarzenegger large. I mean, obviously they're both muscular guys, um, and they both have the look. I think Dwayne Johnson or The Rock definitely has the look. He has that personality. John Cena's been very, at least as a character or a person rather, is very bland.
Yeah.
When he does interviews, he really doesn't know what to say or how to act. It seems like he's um, doesn't really like people, or I won't say doesn't like them, but he doesn't know how to. Uh, when he's outside the character, he doesn't know what to do. I don't know about your thoughts, Andy.
I think he's done everything he wants to do, and he's just fame's gone to his head. Personally, I think he thinks he's going to be the next big movie star, and all the roles he seems to be getting are like silly, what I would call silly films, kiddie films.
Yeah, exactly. He always seems to want to be the kids guy, because again, when he was in WWE, they made him the PG guy that everybody looked up to. I guess you can call him the modern day Hulk Hogan, where all the kids loved him. But at least Hulk Hogan was controversial. At least when he was outside the WWE, he did what he wanted to do. Said what he wanted to say, which kind of got him in a bit of trouble, but that's beside the point. At least,
Screwing around with somebody else's wife.
Well,
yeah. Well, they were recording it, so.
And all three parties involved were consenting, so.
Yeah.
But even like I said, Hulk Hogan. I mean, he did his reality series. He did a whole bunch of movies. A lot of them were kind of like, okay, this is just like bullshit movies. But as you once said, Joe, he got tired and realized this is, I need to get back in the ring before it's too late. And I think John Cena right now wants the break, and he figures I can walk back in WWE and be the number one guy all over again. But I don't know, Lance, if he would come back and be able to come back as the John Cena with the baseball hat and the look. He'd probably have to come back with an entirely different gimmick.
Well, as long as Vince still has air in his lungs, he would be the John Cena character. We all know this. But honestly, ever since John Cena has went and had his few fortes into Hollywood, from what it's looked like to me, it looks like he's been trying to one up The Rock and failing every damn time.
Oh, absolutely. And just The Rock again. He's done the Fast and Furious movies,
Yeah.
but he's also done a lot of other movies. He's done, the Walking Tall movie was all right, but it was a little short for my taste.
Story King was good.
The Jumanji one.
Jumanji, I didn't think I would like it, but unfortunately I was in a hospital and I watched it and I'm like, all right, it was better than what I thought it would be.
Rundown was pretty good.
Rundown, exactly. Contraband, there was another movie that a lot of people didn't really. It wasn't a top chart movie, but it was still a great movie.
Faster was awesome.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm gonna toss this one to Andy, but before I do, over at the over on the Twitch channel, Terry says, "Mr. Nanny, oh God, that was a terrible movie that makes even current WWE entertainment movies look like a five-star ratings movie." So, I'm gonna toss this one to Andy. Andy, I don't know how familiar you are with AEW and WWE's like their champions and their TV shows. Last week, I believe it was, we did a comparison. Like, who is better? Can we compare the champions of each group and the TV shows? What would you say about each show and each champion?
I think AEW is a far better presented show than To me, WWE seems to be the same as it was 15, 20 years ago. Forget like the Attitude Era, but it just seems repetitive matches over and over again, where with AEW, you try and mix them up a bit more.
Yeah, and they have no problem doing title matches on shows on a regular basis. All last week was a championship week, and that was where all titles were defended on. They had Dynamite, Rampage, where I believe it was Hangman Adam Page and Adam Cole did a face-off in a Texas Death Match, and that was a phenomenal match. And they had Battle of the Belts too, which I was like, yeah, it was all right, but I wasn't too thrilled about it. I want to do one last subject before we take off. There are reports that the Good Brothers, who's also known as Anderson and Gallows, will be leaving Impact Wrestling. Probably one of the best career moves they've done so far. They still, unfortunately, have to wait a few more months, but they've worked in New Japan Pro Wrestling. They worked in Ring of Honor, and they also worked in AEW a couple of times when Impact was working with AEW. I don't want to see them go back to WWE because they were pretty much just watered down and dried out. If I could see them go somewhere, I wouldn't mind seeing this tag team showing up in AEW because although there's a robust amount of tag teams, this would be a huge addition and it really would be a nice mix. I'm going to ask you over to you, Joe.
You know what? They are a good team. They are better suited for a faction than just being on their own. Remember, they were Bullet Club, and then they were the group with
AJ Styles.
Well, that and with Kenny Omega and all of them. So I don't know. I'm kind of have mixed feelings. I would like to see them they're already established. They need to have something to really get me motivated to watch them if they return to AEW. The AEW, you just said it yourself. The Raw tag roster, it is strong. They got the Varsity Blondes for how long? I don't know. They have FTR, one of the best tag teams in the damn business today. They have Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. They have the Hardys now. They have the Bucks. They have, what is it, Red Dragons. So you kind of have to find a good place for them. You just can't put them in, come down the ring, beat someone up, and leave. They'll need to be part of something. I think a match between them and Jurassic Express will be an incredible match.
All right, fair enough. Andy, your thoughts? Where do you think they should wind up next?
I don't know. I think AEW are buying far too many people, and they can get to the point like TNA did, where they can have too big a roster and people are going to start bitching and moaning because they're not actually fighting. It's all well and good, Tony Khan saying, but they still get paid. When you're a wrestler, you love to wrestle. You don't love to sit on the bench.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think that's why he purchased Ring of Honor and why Ring of Honor is having their own exclusive wrestlers. Tony Khan is doing something similar to WWE, but not exact. Over in Rampage, you'll see guys come over from Dynamite and whatnot, but there are also guys exclusive to Rampage. And then Ring of Honor, again, has their own exclusive roster, but he's still not sure what they're doing with it. I would like to see them on like a TV show, on a TV network. If Ring of Honor would get on a TV network, that would definitely escalate both Ring of Honor and AEW.
In my opinion, I don't know what the answer is, but what AEW and WWE need to do is something different than what anybody else has ever done before. And the reason why I say this, it doesn't matter whether you're watching Ring of Honor, New Japan, WWE, AEW, Impact, doesn't matter which brand you watch. The moment there's a bit of violence, people start chanting
And
ECW, ECW, because they were different.
Mhm.
And every time they see an hardcore match, they instantly regard that as ECW. No one chance AEW or WWE.
actually, they were chanting AEW. Actually, I've heard them chant quite a few
Yeah.
times.
Yeah,
that
but only
starts
basically
making
to like
this is
stick it
awesome.
bits. They weren't shouting it for. What I'm saying is, they haven't got like a niche. And I've noticed Tony Khan now has in every pay-per-view now has got an hardcore type match, almost an ECW match because he doesn't know what to play at next.
Well, he does have a lot. He does do specialty matches, and a lot of them, and even not on pay-per-views. But
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, and this is in my personal opinion, and I've said it on this podcast time and time again. I have purchased just every single AEW pay-per-view, and I have not been disappointed. That's $60 that I would have probably have never paid, for a WWE show. It was like from top to from bell to bell, the show was incredible. So um, honestly, like I said, if I think they would go somewhere, I'd have to say maybe New Japan Pro Wrestling. Lance, you get the final word.
I could see them doing a bit, especially if this deal that Tony Khan's working does happen. I could see them start out in New Japan. And then once a certain Omega comes back, they hit AEW as his backing.
Yeah, and fair enough. And you know what, guys? We're going to wrap up this edition of Hardcore Wrestling Rants. I want to thank the Lord Skeleton, Joseph Knight. He does play a lot of online games of yesterday and today, and that's over at Skeleton Realms. I want to give a shout out to our good friends, Mr. and Mrs. A, and they're on Facebook in the group section, BC Games and More. They play a lot of old, like retro games that you haven't seen. They do trivia, and just like go out gifts and much, much more. Lance, you're over at Lance Moss TV. Tell everybody about it.
Well, every Tuesday night I go live on Lance Moss TV and friends. We never know who's going to show up, and it's always a more entertaining show than watching NXT. I'm just throwing that out there. But also, the guitar builds are going to come back. It's just we're in the process of finishing the guitar, and well, the weather's not working out with us just right yet. But they are coming back.
All right. Well, you know what? We can't wait to see them. Andy, what do you got going over in the UK?
Nothing at all at the moment. I think I can officially say that there won't be any more Stoke Haunted videos due to health issues and one thing and another. I don't think we're getting back on the road as a team. We might do invites where people invite us along to their investigations, but I can't see us doing anything in the pipeline over the next coming months or whatever. I think it's a done deal. I think we've done all we can, and like I say, due to health issues, it's done and dusted. I think I just can't take the either of it anymore. To be perfectly honest, it's getting a bit too much.
All right. Well, you know, nevertheless, it's great to have you back. It's been a while since you've been here, and you know, it's always a treat for you to come on and just hang out with us.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me back and inviting me back, Rick. It was much appreciated, and we'll do it a bit more often.
Well, yeah, like I said, now we're gonna be here on our new time. It's 3 p.m. over on Twitch TV. We will have the replay over on our YouTube section. That's over on HWR Show. And for those of you, again, who are listening, we also have a chat room in the group section, HWR chat room. Just do the hashtag. We cover the latest news, rumors. We do a lot of play-by-plays. And tonight, I will be covering AEW's Dynamite with stills. So if you guys don't have a chance to watch Dynamite and you want to know what's going on, head on over to the HWR chat room. So, for the Hardcore Crew, I'm your Hardcore host saying, we'll see ya when we see ya.
Buy this shirt!